Hey guys, it's me coming back to you with the continuation of my video. So where I left off was about how I've been feeling this week, and I will, hold on. I will start off by saying, when I was in the hospital, the night I was in the hospital, or the night I went to the ER, I was actually spotting like I was going to start my period. So TMI for any of you guys that possibly may watch this, even though I don't think any guys besides my husband does. So I left the hospital the next day, and that was on Monday. And then Tuesday, my bleeding got progressively worse. So let me just explain that I don't know how many of you have excuse me, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, but I do. I have had PCOS, well, I've been diagnosed with it since 2006 or 2007. I think it was 2006, because I'm pretty sure it was before we got married, me and my husband. So, even though I'm sure that obviously I've had it since I started puberty, because I've always had really, really bad periods from my very first period, and I still continue to. However, they go in spurts. Sometimes I will have periods that are very, very heavy, to the point where I feel like I'm hemorrhaging. Sometimes I have periods that are very light and normal, and they last a very normal time frame, and they come and go normally. Sometimes I don't have a period for 3 months, 6 months, a year. When I first was diagnosed, I was put on metformin, and it really didn't do anything, and I was put on different birth control pills, and they really didn't do anything. They really didn't help at all. In fact, at one point I was bleeding so bad that they doubled up my birth control pills, and I just couldn't stop. It really, really debilitates my life at that point. So at that point, my doctor at the time had given me Provera to stop my bleeding, but never kept me on it. So I would not have a period, and so on and so forth. When we moved from the small area that we lived in when we were married, which was where I grew up, to my husband's area where he lived before we got married, I went to a gynecologist there for the same reason. I was bleeding heavily. It wouldn't stop. I didn't know what to do. And like I said, it was really bad at that point. At that point, it was probably the worst it has ever been. I wasn't leaving the house. I was embarrassed to leave the house, and probably, as I think about it, being morbidly obese doesn't help it any, because I don't... Okay, so I'm just going to throw this TMI out there again. I don't like tampons. I just don't. Never have, never will. I just don't. Well, and I don't think it would really matter when you're bleeding that much anyways. But when you're wearing a pad or two, which is what I have to do, and you're a bigger woman, or a big woman, in my case, it's natural that things are just gonna not fit properly. And, you know, that on top of how heavy that I was bleeding, you know, I went to this gynecologist, and he specialized in polycystic ovarian syndrome and endometriosis. And he said I was a classic polycystic ovarian syndrome patient, which I already knew. I've had blood tests, so on and so forth. And he explained to me, which nobody really explained to me, why I bleed so heavy and why I bleed so long and so much, is that when I have my, you know, the absence of my periods, you have your your lining, and when you don't have a period, the lining just builds up and builds up and builds up until there's no room. And then it just starts coming out, and it doesn't stop. And I know I know it's kind of a gross topic, and I mean, but it's an honest topic, and it's part of life, and, you know, it's frustrating, and it's debilitating, and so, oh my gosh. So he had put me on Provera and told me to take it the last 10 days of the month regardless, whether I have a period or not. Okay, I started to do that. And me, the stupid woman that I am, because I'm just going to say that, and I guess I don't say stupid, but it was stupid of me to do instead of going back to him. But, you know, doctors don't always, I don't know. I felt very comfortable with him, but I was just very nervous. I don't like doctors. Anyway. I was afraid he was going to tell me I had to have surgery because that was one of the options, and so I just didn't. But I also got scared because I was reading, and people had told me that Provera, like birth control, your blood clots your risk of blood clots increases, your risk of heart issues increase, and that's part of my anxiety with being as large as I am, is that there's some hidden, even though I know I've had EKGs and stress tests and stuff for other issues. So I know that I'm not healthy, but I know that my heart isn't at risk currently. But blood clots is a very scary thing for me because I have a friend who, you know, every time she has surgery, she gets blood clots in her leg, and sometimes they have went to her lungs, and she's had to be in the hospital. It's not something you can detect, and it's not something that really has any symptoms. So anyway, skip forward. I stopped taking the Provera. I wasn't having a period. It's okay. Like, I'll just deal with it. When I have a period, I'll take the Provera. Stupid. So it's been a year. Well, probably 6 months since I had a period. So I was bleeding on that Tuesday, and it's been the worst week of my life. It's like karma. So basically, I've been very depressed over that. I've been very depressed over the fact that I was in the hospital, and I'm also really depressed over my surgery issues, which I do have some updates. So what I'm going to do, because it's already almost 10 minutes, and I don't like making super long videos, even though 10 minutes is long, but not long. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop this now and upload this, and then I will upload the information on my surgery and my thoughts on that, and, you know, the real frustration on that. So I will talk to you guys later.